Hi everyone, welcome to Job Street's Tech Virtual Career Fair. This is the region's largest virtual career fair because we are running this simultaneously in Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, and Hong Kong. And this career fair actually runs from the 9th to 11th of March, and today marks the last day of our career fair. So I hope you have been having an enjoyable time so far in our career fair. So if you have not applied for any roles, feel free to go to our career site's website at www.careerfair.jobstreet.com.sg, find a job that you want and apply right away from there. So welcome to all of you here. My name is David. I'm the candidate marketing manager from JobStreet Singapore. So today is the last day. And for those of you who have been actually attending our expert series webinar, today is the last day, and normally we'll keep the best for the last. And as you can see from my screen right now, we will be having a sharing from Ninja Fan on the topics of transforming the logistics industry in Singapore. If you have never heard about Ninja Fan before, Ninja Fan is actually a Singapore homegrown startup. Ninja Fan is currently at the Series E funding, which means that the company itself is valued at $1 billion. So it is one of the successful, startups from Singapore. And definitely, if you have been actually ordering stuff online, you probably have encountered Ninja Fan's delivery personal before. So I'm super happy and privileged today because right here today we have Sean, who is the co-founder and chief technology officer of Ninja Fan. So he'll be sharing with us today about the topics of Ninja Fan's story on how do they transform the industry in Singapore. And logistics industry is considered a traditional industry, but Sean and the other two co-founders have successfully transformed this industry into a cool and techy industry. So Sean, maybe maybe you can say one or two words about yourself to our participants today.
Hey, David. Thanks for having me here. Thank you, Job Street Tech in Asia. My name is Sean. I'm one of the three co-founders of Ninja Van. My role today as the Chief Technology Officer is to, as the name says it, take care of product and technology at Ninja Van. So as a tech-enabled logistics company, we do build almost everything in-house, our operational technology. So we have quite a substantial team operating across Singapore, Indonesia, and Vietnam that builds and supports this platform. And it's my job to take care of the team and roll out cool new technology to power the business. So today I of course have with me also Wesley. Wesley takes care of everything to do with HR, and as HR BPs say, they solve whatever problems we as the business bring to them. So the second session I'll leave it to Wesley, right? But yeah, first let me just give a very quick intro for I know some of you may not be familiar with our company. We operate in Southeast Asia. So, and I mentioned just now, we are a tech-enabled logistics company. And we started off serving the last mile industry. Today, we do lots more, up the chain. I can, if time permits, I can share a little bit of that. But most importantly, I have to speak the company mission, right? It's really about connecting Southeast Asia to a world of possibilities, right? And we do that by one delivery at a time, right? Putting smiles on their faces. And I always, one of my favorite parts of the day, if I'm working from home, is the doorbell rings and, a delivery driver. It may not be a Ninja Van driver, but when I have a parcel, that's one of the happiest parts of my daily life, actually. So a little bit about our company expansion. We started off about eight years ago in Singapore at end of 2014. Within a span of less than 12 months, business took off, and we made our first foray into a foreign overseas market, into Malaysia. Now, the moment we launched in Malaysia validated that our product, it's internet, the internationalization, localization, everything works, we very, very quickly expanded into Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, and then finally Thailand. So that covers the 6 markets that we operate in Southeast Asia. Now, in terms of how we scaled our volumes, it was actually pretty quick. So in 2017, we started doing close to 50,000 parcels a day. And if you look at how we've grown today in 2021, 2020, 22, we're doing more than 2 million parcels every single day, right? So what that has really brought upon us as a business was we really had to build that capability to scale our technology and our operations to deal with this load. And it's not an easy thing, okay? So some of our achievements over the last 12 months, yeah, we have served more than 2 million unique shippers. So shippers are direct customers. So you think of your brand.coms, your marketplaces. Yeah. We have 100% coverage in all our 6 countries, which means that we can easily deliver to a metropolitan area in Singapore, and we can also deliver something in the very far remote reaches, mountains of say Papua in Indonesia. That's all possible. We're also proud to hire lots of people across the region. People in white collar industries, software engineers, product development, sales, marketing, and also the logistics part of things, right? You have your drivers, your riders, and the people in the sortation centers. Growth has always been a huge thing that we focus on, and downstream we have to deal with it through product and technology. So 300% growth within the 12 months, that's I think for us an incredible achievement. We operate lots of physical hubs and stations in order to optimize the whole delivery, and we have about 2,000 of these facilities across the 6 countries. We also serve about, I think data tells us about 110 different recipients. These are the people who, you and I basically, who have received parcels from Ninja Van. And I mentioned this earlier as well. Every single day, we deal with 2 million, more than 2 million parcels. Okay, so as a CTO, I guess one of the things I wanted to share with the folks here today is a little bit about what goes on behind, under the hood of Ninja Van, and what better than to show off the tech stack in Ninja Van. So I've done this so many times, and we have tens and tens of different technologies, but I'm trying to just distill that into a very simple slide that I can present to you in 1 minute. So this is something really quick I worked on this morning. And the way I look at our tech stack is I split it into 3 layers. The first layer is the things that we, as users, we see, and that's the presentation layer. So for you front-end folks, you guys will be familiar with this. So we are built on mainly 3 different technologies: Angular, React, and lately we've been playing around with Vue.js. Most of our stack is on React. That's our framework of choice. But as an innovative company, we always try to see what's new out there, and yeah, we are doing a lot of experimentation. In the stateless layer, or some might call it the application layer, we have microservices built in Java. We have Golang is also a very popular language today at Ninja Van. Of course, we have our Python and we have our Node.js applications, right? And this is the heart of it, where all your data is being stored. Relationally, most of the stuff is in MySQL. We are doing a migrational project to a very cool distributed database called TiDB. It's a very, very cool open source project. We, as an organization, we are also building everything events first. So we look at events as a first-class citizen today because we're starting to build more events-driven applications, and everything we're building is just upon a set of streaming data in our Kafka clusters, right? Some of the other technologies here you may be familiar with: Elasticsearch, Redis, Hazelcast. One very important thing to note is that if you look at this whole stack, right, especially on the stateful side of things, and the fact that we focus on building stateless apps, we focus heavily on building scalable applications, things that can horizontally scale to deal with that load, that whole 2 million parcels thing daily, right? Tomorrow it may be 3 million, next month it may be 4 million. So we've got to make sure that our technology caters to that, right? And everything if you look at the stateful, besides MySQL, everything is it's a distributed technology. And where do all these cool technologies sit on? They sit on a Kubernetes platform. So this is, to me, really the platform of the future. We are a company that has invested heavily into containerization and an automated and scalable platform. So this is a team, our Indonesian team. So why am I showing you the team, right? Because everything you're seeing here is built by people, right? So the human resource is one of the most important things in the organization. How fast we can build our tech, it's all kudos and thanks to these amazing engineers, right? And this is the Singapore engineering team. Actually, this is a very, very, very old picture. Our team is more than 150 people now across the 3 regions, but COVID has prevented us from gathering and having a very nice team photo, right? But this could really be you, where we have so many technology problems in the logistics industry that we're trying to solve, right? And it's ever more so exciting, especially in the technology industry. So this my segment of the presentation comes to an end. I think I want to hand this time to Wesley. Wesley, I'll be helping you control the slides.
Right.
So over to you.
Thanks, Sean. So hi guys, I'm Wesley. I'm the Senior HR BP for Technology. So what I do in this company, I basically take care of HR as a whole. As Sean rightly puts it, I help the business solve the HR problems, right, from end to end. So be it from recruitment to engagement to culture, it all really falls under me. And yeah, I'll cover a few things with you today. Share a bit more about life at NinjaVan, right? And a bit more about culture later on. So I think life in NinjaVan, a lot of candidates like to ask me like, oh, what's it like working at NinjaVan? What do you do on a day-to-day basis, right? And my answer is usually very simple. If you're an engineer, day-to-day is coding, right? It's day-to-day working on code, working on products, right? But I think as a whole, life in NinjaVan isn't really just about working within your space, like within your JD, right? It's really just about stretching yourself and experiencing, right, the company as a whole. So originally, this slide was just full of pictures of people, in a warehouse, which isn't really the accurate depiction, right? There's a lot of exciting things that happens at NinjaVan. We have a beer tap. We do communities. We have a lot of pizza making. Sean is like the king pizza maker in NinjaVan. There's a lot of very interesting activities and events that happen always at NinjaVan. But the warehouse thing is also quite interesting as well, because what we expect from all ninjas, right, is that every ninja should understand the business really well and should help out wherever it's possible. So you see 3 pictures here: the top left, top right, and bottom one. These are actually of our employees. You can see Sean in the bottom one, and actually Chang Wen, our CEO, on the top right, going down the warehouse during the peak period to help out. So it's really that sense of family, that kampong spirit, really just going out and helping each other. And I think that really kind of builds a very strong sense of family, a very strong sense of helping each other, and yeah, just really growing with the company. So when you really go down the warehouse during peak, you really do see that kind of you feel that kind of sense of impact, you feel that kind of sense of growth, and being part of it. So culture-wise, another great question: what is the culture at NinjaVan, right? So culture is such a tenuous thing. It's such a mumbo jumbo. You're really not very sure how you're gonna place it. So I'm just gonna share a bit of some of the key areas that we do see our culture manifest, right? So this is not really just HR giving like the some of the corporate lingo, right? This is really what we've observed, and this is why we've chosen some of these words here. So one of the main things that, when I ask people about what they enjoy about working in Ninja Van, or even when they leave, right, I ask them, why, what do you like about working in Ninja Van? So really accurate stuff. It's the people, like working with people, collaborating with them, and really having that sense of, very, very flat hierarchy, right? And having that sense of empowerment, right? To be able to decide on what you want to do, and decide on how you want to do it, right? I think that's really something that is very core to the experience working in Ninja Van, the culture. And I guess the other bit is really growth, right? So I think one of the key reasons why people come to Ninja Van and stay at Ninja Van is because they really experience a huge amount of growth in the time that they're here, right? We do push people hard. We do want to see people grow in bigger roles. If there's always more things to do, right? At a startup, always more things to do, always new projects, always new up and coming things, right? And it's all about you going out and getting that, right? And saying that, I would like to work on this, even though I don't have experience. And Ninja Van is that kind of company that would bet on you, right? Ninja Van will trust you and give you that kind of opportunity, and that will really push you to the next level, right? And I think personally, my experience has been like that. I joined Ninja Van 4 years ago as just a recruiter in the tech team, right? And I think in a very short 4 years, I've kind of grown a lot faster because, I've been given a lot of opportunities to pursue these things, right? So I think that's really the core part of the experience working in Ninja Van as well, just that kind of growth and the kind of sense of, impact, right? Growing the company as well. Those are kind of key things that you'll see in the culture. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so I'm the HR BP, so I take care of recruitment. So it's very important for me to put this slide up, right? I understand a lot of you guys, if you're here today, you're listening to this, it's most likely because you're looking for a job, right? And you're probably considering Ninja Van as an interesting opportunity. So Ninja Van is always hiring for engineers, always hiring for great product people. So you can scan that QR code. I think it bring you directly to a job site, right? And not just about engineering and tech. There are plenty of other roles as well. If you're looking for roles in data, you're looking for roles in like UX design. We do have a lot of interesting roles there as well, right? And yeah, whenever you apply, my recruiters will be in touch with you. If your application or your profile really suits the role. All right, that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Sean and Wesley, for the interesting sharing. So yeah, definitely it's a very cool company to work for. Looking at the pictures, yeah, that reminds me of my early days when I actually joined other tech companies as well. It was so fun. Like it's, normally people will play hard and work hard at the company, right? So it seems like you guys have that kind of culture as well. But actually, before this sessions, we have actually asked our candidates if they have any questions for both Sean and Wesley, and we do actually have a lot of questions from the floor. So perhaps we can just go straight into the Q&A. So this is the first questions from our candidate. So this question is actually for Sean. So of course, right? So the pandemic has actually helped e-commerce companies and quick commerce companies to actually propel to a different stage, right? Because with people working from home, and I believe this trend will continue as well. But perhaps maybe Sean, if you can share some of your thoughts or your opinions about how COVID-19 pandemic affect the tech industry.
Yeah, COVID-19 has brought upon us both opportunities and challenges, okay, widely speaking. So some of us are in industries which directly benefit from this pandemic, right, and accelerated our growth. For example, digital sectors such as gaming, what we do at home, right? Online media, watching a lot of videos because you cannot go out. And of course, you have the industries like us, e-commerce and logistics industry. I remember when the pandemic just hit and countries, we started going into lockdown, right? What was once for us delivery, a service of convenience, right, became a service of bare necessity. Now people relied on us to get their basic supplies like groceries, their daily replenishables to their home. Okay, so yeah, these are the beneficiaries of the pandemic. And then we talk about the other side, right? The less fortunate. I've seen so many businesses, they have to close down because of their inability to adapt, to transform their businesses. I saw so many offline businesses trying to go online. They had no experience, and yeah, they just died. So this is such an ideal time, right, for us for the growth of digital companies. You add on to that also the increase of internet and smartphone penetration in the region. It reminds me of that news thing. Elon Musk can supply internet everywhere, right? So internet is just so accessible. And when I say this, I say it with actual data at hand, because we do so much data analytics at our company, and we have been observing over the past 2 years so many first time online shoppers, right? People that we didn't see pre-COVID. And then for the existing consumers, we are seeing them buy more and more. So having more increased usage of e-commerce and logistics. Now, we steer this conversation back to the tech industry. I think it's one of the impacts that COVID-19 has is the way that it is impacting the tech industry, where technical talent is becoming so highly sought after. And I'm so sure Wesley can share his pains and nightmares, right, on how competitive it is, the industry is, and how hiring is becoming more challenging. I can see Wesley smiling. Yeah, so to summarize, COVID-19 has made tech so important, and I'll just say that it really isn't a better time to be in the tech industry.
Yes, yes. I mean, that is definitely like the same trend that we see. I mean, at JobStreet as well, like there are a surge in terms of like, tech related openings. However, like a lot of candidates, like they shy away from joining the tech industry or taking up like the tech roles. So I mean, like later on we'll hear from Wesley probably like his thought about this. But before we move to that, like we have a second question from Sean here. So, what are some challenges for the logistic industry, and how would the future of logistic industry look like? So, of course, I mean, for me myself, I've been into tech a lot as well. So, I've been reading about EVs, of course, and then self-driving. Do you think like this is something where you guys will be venturing into in the future? Or yeah, sure, maybe if you can share some of your thoughts here.
Yeah. Now for us, you see, we are logistics. We are we're trying to build a sustainable business, right? So all the stuff about EVs and all that stuff, that's definitely being considered. There are a lot of challenges around it. For instance, how do you charge your fleets, right? Because space becomes an issue, and when we are dealing with logistics, it's not like 5 trucks, it's like 50 trucks. And in a country like Singapore, where land is a huge challenge, right? How do you park so many vehicles? Yeah, so while we're all invested into that tech, and there's so much more, right? You look at drone deliveries and all that cool stuff. Yes, to a certain extent, we are looking into these, but probably not in the ways that we a lot of us layman, we envision a drone coming to deliver a parcel into our house, right? But for us, it may be using a drone to deliver it to a van before a driver actually hands it over to the parcel, because there are a lot of challenges and regulations on the flight paths and operating in urban environment. Yeah. But let me just pull the conversation back to it being more realistic. What we have today, right? Logistics industry, the challenge is one of it to me is a matter of like scale. How do we continue as more and more things go into logistics rather than your brick and mortar? It becomes very important to continually optimize that, right? Start shifting your delivery times from next day and slowly starting to encroach into the on-demand space, right? Not so much on-demand, maybe same-day services. So lots of technology has to go into making that cost effective. The other one that we're trying to solve a lot is that in any operational thing, right, nothing is 100%, which means there's going to be a small percentage of failures, right? But for us, the challenge is how do we deal with these failures? And it's a very important initiative that we're pushing out called FSR. And that stands for Fantastic Service Recovery. It means that we admit that we're not 100%, but for that 0.1% of failures where we may lose the parcel, damage the parcel, or be late, we want to treat the customer with the highest quality as possible, finding out the problem before the customer calls us and complains about it. Yeah. What do I think the future of logistics is? I would say technology is a huge part of it. Everything going digital, being able, and for us, one of the things we are trying to futurize or make more futuristic is the way we interact with our end consumers. Not sure if some of you may have experienced what we're doing with Ninja Chat. So as a parcel recipient, you can interact with our service via our chatbot, which is deployed across almost all the social media platforms. Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Viber, name it, it should be there. And you can do cool stuff like set your delivery preferences, get more live and real-time updates. Yeah. So technology. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Now I can track my parcel from everywhere. Okay, cool. Thank you, Sean, for addressing second question. So we have another question for you. So it seems like a lot of people are very interested on talking to you. Unfortunately, yeah, this is a pre-recorded session, but no worry, we can get still Sean answer this question. So what was the greatest challenge you faced during your career in Ninja Fan, and how did you overcome it? I don't know whether you want to even stretch your story to even before Ninja Fan, because of course I read the story about the three of you, but yeah, I mean, people are interested to find it from you.
Yeah, shared this story a few times, and so many challenges. A lot of people see the success, but they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that goes on behind. Okay, so I start with the first one. You see, when we started out in the logistics space, myself, my two other co-founders, we never had any experience working in a logistics related field, right? We were either software developer, a tech guy, or banker. Then that was really the founding team. So we had to figure everything out from scratch, not just the operational aspects of the business that we didn't have experience, but we also knew no one in the industry who could kind of help us, put us out there and propel us there, right? So everything was like a DIY. We go and figure it out ourselves. So how, right? It was all about grit, and we kept on trying. There were so many failures we had in our product, so many difficulties in trying to scale from delivering 10 parcels a day to 100, right? And okay, we attained some traction and some success. And the result of that is we grew rather quickly. You saw that whole parcel growth, right? The 50,000, then suddenly 1 million after a few years. And that led to another challenge. To deal with such scale, we need to build and scale up the organization. So for me and my founders, we are all we were pretty early in our careers. We didn't have much career at that point of time. For Paul Sian, it was actually Ninja was his first job, right? And so we had no training, we had no experience in managing a scaling organization. And as it organically grew, it got to a point where we needed to manage teams of hundreds or even thousands of people, right? And we even had people who had decades of experience reporting to us. So weird, right? So we had to start building up processes and structure that would support this kind of a scaling organization. And without the experience, what can we do, right? We just learn on the job. We read books on management. We talk to our mentors. We get in touch with our investors who would put us in touch with more people who we can learn from. So I think I like to sum up, right? The ability to adapt and absorb information like a sponge, and most importantly, accepting change and putting these into action becomes really critical for success.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can imagine like how much engineering works will have to go from supporting like 50,000 parcels per day to 2 million. That's actually remarkable, right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure like a lot of people at this stage, they're inspired to maybe like applying a job at Ninja Fan. Maybe it's time for us to actually get Wesley for some insights, right, about Ninja Fans like working culture. So, Wesley, share a little bit, like in a beautiful slideshow that we showed just now, like, okay, how does it look like to work in Ninja Fan? But maybe Wesley can share a little bit more because I also read reviews about Ninja Fan, and actually, to be honest, like the rating for Ninja Fan is actually very high. So maybe I should start updating my CV and applying it like Ninja Fan too. But Wesley, maybe, yeah, over to you.
Always welcome, David. If you do want to join my team, I'm happy to have you on, right?
Thank you. Yep.
So let me go into culture a bit more, and maybe I'll just share a bit more about what we value here, right? What the experience is like. I think at Ninja Van, in terms of culture, typically if you look at culture, we don't look at it as we look at big, macro culture, micro culture, right? There is a company culture, but I think a lot of your employee experience, a lot of your experience working at a company would usually be centered around the teams that you are in, right? And really how
Yep.
you work with the manager, the kind of work that you're doing. So I think for Ninja Van, I think one of the key things that I look at, right, when building culture and kind of changing employee experience, it's a lot about um, moving to a self-serve kind of mentality. So self-serve doesn't really sound correct, but customize yourself, right? I think one of the very important things that I look at when kind of helping out our engineers, our product managers, our tech team in terms of the policies that we're pushing out. One of the key things that drive me is really how can the employee shape the experience at Ninja Van, right, themselves, right? And how can we kind of introduce more flexibility? How can we introduce more autonomy, right? So I think that has always been the key thing about Ninja Van, autonomy, right? We allow our employees to work from home on a hybrid kind of model, right? If they feel that they need more than just like 2 days a week in office, they need less or more, they can work it out with us. We have an open personal time off plan, which is pretty much an unlimited leave policy, right? Because I think that's what we do. We trust our employees, we give them a lot of autonomy, right? And we allow them to kind of shape their experience at Ninja Van for themselves, right? So I think that's truly one of the key parts of culture in Ninja Van. It's not going to be the same for everybody, right? It's not going to come in, everybody's going to have the same opportunities, they're going to have the same experience, they're going to have the same manager, right? But I think that the key thing that we're always trying to do is we're going to trying to make sure that you have an experience here that is suited to you, right? Not everybody wants to have beer nights, not everybody wants to work at a warehouse, right? But ultimately, it should be an experience that's very catered to you. So I think that's one of the key things that I look at when it comes to experience. I look at culture in Ninja Van. And yeah, I think one of the very important things when I do talk about when we're interviewing and making sure that people are a good culture fit is something which we call self-awareness, right? And I think this is something that is really, really the bare minimum, right? The basic, right, of everyone who needs to come in Ninja Van is just that ability to say, oops, I made a mistake, and I won't do it again. I'm sorry, right? And let's move on from there, right? I think that's a very important thing. I think we've worked with people in the past who are lacking this very fundamental quality, right? And it's very difficult to kind of collaborate with that person, right? So that self-awareness layer, right, is really that foundational layer of culture working at here in Ninja Van. And yeah, it's really something that some people are not very comfortable with, right? They're just not very comfortable, saying that, they're not comfortable showing vulnerability, right? And I think that's one of the key things that if you're looking for a place, right, that is open to that, right? Showing vulnerability, being able to kind of pick yourself up, right, and giving the opportunity to do something like that. I think Ninja Van is going to be a great place for you, culture fit wise. Yeah, I hope that that answered the question.
Yeah, it sounds really great. Like it's basically what I've seen on online review site as well. So that's very positive. So pretty sure like a lot of people are keen to join in Japan, and we actually have some questions from our candidates, right? So, as a tech company, is Ninja Fan open to hiring mature candidates or candidates who are from different experience or industry? So this is a classic, questions that people ask, right? So
Yeah.
this is also probably the reason why like tech companies have difficulties securing tech talents these days, because like people still have this kind of questions in their mind. And what kind of qualifications do you need? Do you think they need to actually pursue a career in tech? So,
Okay.
Wesley.
No, it's a great question, right? And I think
Mm,
the answer that I would have given you 2 years ago versus the answer that I've given you now,
yep.
it's going to be a bit different, right? 2 years
Mm,
ago, right? When you would ask me, what qualifications do you need to pursue a career in tech, I would actually say, you need like a degree in computer science, right?
mm,
Foundation's very, very important. You need to know all these things, right? And only a degree in computer science in a reputable university like, NUS or, like an Ivy
mm,
League school is going to be, suitable for us, right? But I think in the last few years, we've seen a very interesting shift, right? In
mm,
kind of candidates that are applying, right? And we've also seen really successful cases as well, coming from people who are not classically trained, right? So we've gotten people coming from boot camps, right? So people who went for like a coding boot camp, and the background was completely not from tech, right? I think it's from gymnastics, if I'm not wrong,
oh, wow.
sports management, right?
Okay.
And this lady, right? She went for a boot camp and then she applied to Ninja Van, and we hired her, right? We hired her
Mm,
for one of our newer teams, which is called tooling and automation. So we thought that, okay, this team, it's not going to be very complex work, maybe small sided project, so we can take a risk, take a bet on this person. And when we hired that person, the kind of enthusiasm that she brought to the team, the kind of desire to learn, right, and grow, has been incredible, right? And I think right now, I would say that, in that team, and I think in the team in the whole, right, she has become one of a very, very key member, right? She's getting promoted very quickly. The performance review has been always right. So it's not really just about the qualifications. I think that's what we all realize. I think the attitude that you're bringing to the table is very, very important as well, right? So be it mature, mature candidate or different experience, different industry, that's fine, right? But I think what you cannot not have, right, is the lack of curiosity, right? The lack of desiring to be more and growing further. It shouldn't be just, oh, I did a boot camp and I'm ready. I don't learn anything more, right? Because if you're like that, there's no way you're gonna be hired in Japan, right? It's really
mm,
that showing that I did this at boot camp, but I know I'm not there yet. I'm gonna learn more. I'm gonna learn more. And when you show that in an interview, right, we're gonna pick up on that, right? We're gonna be able to pick up on that. We're gonna be able to see the kind of attitude you're bringing to the table, and we are willing to take a risk, willing to take a chance on people with these kind of profiles as well. So yeah, don't be too worried about mature or different industry. I think nowadays we are a lot more open minded. Yeah.
yes, yes. Thank you very much, Wesley. So that actually confirms our research as well. So our job search research found that actually like you don't have to be 100% match the job like requirements, but then as long as you match about like 65 to actually 70% of like the requirements, then you have a high chance of being hired as well. And speaking from my personal experience as well, like I studied like economic and finance for my degree, but then like here I am, I'm doing like digital marketing for most of my career. All right, thank you very much, Wesley, for the sharing. So we have two last questions for Sean. So what's next for Ninja Pen? Is the company looking to expand to other countries? I mean, so far you guys have expanded like mostly in Southeast Asia. So any plans for expansion?
Yeah, I think this is a simple answer. No. For us,
Hmm.
it's really about razor sharp focus in the 6 markets that we're in.
Okay, right. Yeah, that is very important as well, especially like you wanna, plan for next phase of the company. Last questions for Sean. So with Industry 4.0 upon us, how do you think jobs will change? What skills do you think will become irrelevant or stay relevant?
What's going to be irrelevant? I think definitely with things rapidly moving towards automation and technology, we should theoretically see a decline in things that are very manual, offline, labor intensive, right? I think no surprise there. What will stay relevant? For sure, I think through this whole conversation, we have validated that jobs in the tech industry are going to be hot, right?
Yeah.
So software engineering, development, product management, product design, UI, UX, that's going to be hot for sure. And lots of people are saying artificial intelligence, machine learning, that's going to be the next big thing. Yeah, I do agree about that. But you know, these are all very commonly talked about. So maybe I want to speak about more generic skill set, such as the ability to adapt to very hybrid working environments, working from home, being in the office. But more so than that, the fact that now we have more remote working, you're going to start to see more teams which are so multicultural, working across time zones. So these would be kind of like the skills of the future worker. Yeah. So that's what I feel about the jobs of the future. So yeah, I think this may be the last question. So I just wanted to thank everyone for tuning into this and listening to Wesley and myself talk a little bit more about our company and sharing with you what we are doing in logistics and technology. We are solving very, very interesting problems. I'm so excited to always talk to my engineering and product teams to look at what they're coming up with. So yeah, if you're interested or want to find out more, please come and talk to us, get in touch with Wesley or myself. Look for us in LinkedIn, and yeah, we'll be glad to connect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sean. Wesley, do you have any words for our candidates?
Apply to NinjaVan. It's a good place to work.
Yeah, wait for my CV. Yeah, but thank you so much, Sean and Wesley, for the insightful sharing. Okay, thank you to Karen as well for helping us to organize this interesting talk as well. Just a reminder, you still have time right now. So if you are interested in pursuing a career with NinjaVan, you can always search for NinjaVans in our career fair. Straight away you can message them, and then you can ask any questions you have, or you can apply directly for jobs. But all in all, yeah, so hopefully you guys find what you're looking for in our career fair, be it knowledge or the next job that you want to actually work for. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and thank you to our speakers today. All right, so thank you everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.